Good evening. What's up? What's up, everybody? Let me share this screen. We are just waiting for one person. We can rock and roll. Whoa, got it. And your boy got the number one pick. That's right. Must be lucky tonight. All right, cool. So this draft is going to start off real easy. So it's Wednesday night, 10 o'clock on the West Coast. So I figured, hey, let me fire off a bunt contest. This is actually my fifth draft today. They launched the new draft, the new bunt, $3 bunt. Max is 20 entries, so I'm going to max it out in the next couple days. That'll take me up to 150. And Underdog's doing this cool thing where you get like 10, 15, or 20% of the rake back. Excuse me. So it's not actually a ton of money, but it's free money. So I don't know. I'll probably get back 15 or 20 bucks. So I'm good throwing 60 in here just for fun. So for the most part, if you're watching this, you're probably watching on delay. We might have a few people jump in, say hi, but for the most part, you're going to be watching on delay. So I'll try to be as entertaining as I can be. But I'm just going to be drafting. So many topics. I mean, we could talk about a lot of things like Ohtani firing his interpreter with all this crazy talk about gambling allegations. There's my reminder. There's my Alexa putting in work. So that's huge. Oh, Michael Lorenzen just signed with the Rangers, which the Rangers definitely need because their pitching is outside of Nathan Eovaldi. Their pitching leaves a lot to be desired. So I just kind of assume they're going to try to win games 10-6 every night. Plus they have Seager hurt. Plus they have Lowe hurt. So it's going to be a little tricky for the defending champions this year. Okay. So we're just, the cool thing about being on the bookend is you just wait and you deal with what you got. I'm going to be targeting a couple outfielders when it comes back. Ideally, Rosarena and Luis Robert. That's my plan right now. I see Strider went 7, Freeman went 9. With Cole being out, now there's a huge gap. Before it was like Strider, Cole, and then a little bit of a gap for Burns, and then kind of the rest of the guys, Wheeler, Yamamoto, those guys. But now that's a big gap between Strider and everybody else. So I don't necessarily value pitchers as much as other people. Don't get me wrong, I'm not punting him either, but I think my exposure on Strider is really low. I just try to get bats. I feel like the draft is so much more challenging if you don't have any bats. If you don't have any outfield bats early. Like I see these guys, they go infield, and then you look at their team and the pitching's marginal, the outfielders are terrible, but hey, they've got 3 great infielders and another one they can use at a flex. But it's brutal. I mean, I'm not all about like making sure I have balance either, but I think there definitely is some balance. And with the Underdog drafts, those outfielders go so early that you've got to get who you want when they're there. They're not going to come back. That's just kind of the way it plays out on Underdog. So KC, Beasy with Tatis and Schwarber. That's nice. Last draft I was in, I didn't pay a lot of attention because I was just firing this off while I'm doing other things, as opposed to now when I'm focused. But I do know that one of the guys, I think he picked 9th or 10th, stacked Olsen and Riley. I just can't do it. It's too tough with the infielders. So, and then you're coming back way back there, and you're like, okay, Brian Reynolds or Nolan Jones, and then when it comes back on the turn, you're basically looking at like Springer and Nemo, who most guys don't take until the back end of the fourth anyway. So it's not really conducive to me. Okay, so Schwarber, Garcia, and Trout already went. So this will be interesting to watch. There goes Corbin. So for me, my targets are Rosarena and Robert. We'll see how that plays out. I can always go Harris and Albies, depending on how this plays out. Nope, not going to do it. I mean, I could have gone Brave Stack, but we're not going to do it. There's a Rosarena. Rosarena. And Luis Robert. I've got a ton of Luis Robert exposure. Does make me a little anxious. Okay, so when it comes back to me, we're going to be sitting at 48. So, the nice thing about the stream is you guys get to see how this draft plays out. The challenging thing for me is when I'm a bookend, all of a sudden there's a lot of time to talk about things all by myself. So it does make it a little tricky. When I'm in the middle, you can talk a little strategy, but when you're on the bookend, you, like I said previously, you just deal with what you got. It's not like you have to strategize because there's two guys behind you, and it's not that. You get what you get. So when it comes back to me at 48, I'm probably going to end up taking an outfielder and a pitcher. So maybe like Kevin Gossman, Zach Gallen. I don't think anybody like Pablo Lopez is going to make it to me. And I'll probably take Teo or Ian Happ, because I know by the time it comes back to me again at 72, forget it. All those guys are gone. At 72 and 73, yeah, you smoke at that point. Look, we're through round 3 and only Strider and Burns right now. So either there's going to be a massive run on pitchers, or I'm going to have a lot to choose from. I think we're going to see a massive run here. Yelich is still there. And then we've got, Bregman went early. Wonder if he's going to take Altuve. He's got Jordan. So if he goes Jordan, Bregman, Altuve, he's got a nice little Astro stack there. Ten seconds. I mean, we know he didn't auto-pick Bregman. Okay, Wheeler. Okay, so there's another pitcher. So let's see who I'm going to queue up here. Like I said, I was expecting Teo or Happ. I'm expecting to take one of those two guys. De La Cruz is available. Bo's available. So, okay, Gunnar just went off the table. And then I'm going to queue up some pitchers. So Luis Castillo, Pablo Lopez, Kevin Gossman, Zach Gallen. And we'll see who takes Garrett Cole. There's Altuve. So Jacko Flo. I might have to take a minute. I didn't get any water before we started. Amateur move. Oh, there goes Teo. I think Teo is going to have a real nice year. So he just jumped him ahead of. Oh, there goes Cole. Jumped him ahead of Springer and Nemo, which is not a big surprise. There's Castillo. This will be interesting. So he's got Soto and two infielders. So you would expect him to take like George Springer right here. Nope. Okay, so this works out perfect for me. So I'm going to take Kevin Gossman, which I'm super excited about. I know he's a little hurt. He's a little banged up right now, but that's okay. If I miss a week or two, that's fine, because normally he's a third-round pick. And then I'm going to take Ian Happ. And I like Ian Happ a lot. I think Ian Happ really should be in that grouping with like Brian Reynolds and Christian Yelich. That offense is going to be fantastic in Chicago. So I'm good with that. So I've got 4 outfielders and 5 picks. When it comes back to me, I'm on this kick right now where I just don't take infielders. I know I did that earlier in the drafts, but I just feel like you can get so much infield value later. And now with all the pitchers that have gone down, it's really hard to get that pitcher value later in the draft, like 17, 18, 19, 20. It's really hard. So what I've been trying to do is make sure I grab my outfielders early and make sure I grab my pitchers early and just get it over with. And then I'll just fill with infielders. So we've got quite an outfield run. Nemo, Springer, Castellanos, Carter, Ozuna, Jazz Chisholm is coming up next, and then Santander. So what's going to come back to us? I'm going to be looking at some pitching. So Logan Webb, Skubal, Kirby, Cease. I'd like to get any of those 4 guys would be great. Then I've got Peralta, Luzardo, Grayson Rodriguez. Love those guys. We're probably not going to see an infielder get picked in this run here. Just kidding. I missed Manny Machado. Oh, my bad. Okay. We'll see Manny, and we'll probably see Adley go in this run. And 1 to 2 outfielders. If one of these 2 outfielders gets to me, it's going to make things a little difficult. Because I'm planning right now, I'm planning on taking 2 pitchers. The girlfriend's texting, so got to make sure I text back. Can't just say, sorry, babe, I was streaming. I mean, I can, but it's not going to go over well. All right, so Blake Snell at 68, even though he's going to miss starts. We'll see. They're trying to act like he's going to throw in the spring. If I'm the Giants and if I'm Snell, I'm definitely not pushing it. With his injury history, I'm not pushing that at all. There's Skubal. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. We still have Santander on the board. All right, so Dylan Cease did make it. Really hard not to take Santander, though, right? All right, I'm going to take Cease. I really want to take Santander. Freddie Peralta staring right at me. All right, so I'm going to take Santander. I mean, like I said earlier, I know that's 5 outfielders in 7 picks. But keep in mind, Acuna's got the meniscus issue, which hopefully isn't an issue. Luis Robert, he gets a little banged up. I do expect him to miss some time. Hopefully it's at the back end of the season. But there's that. Ian Happ got injured during spring, although he's a guy who plays 150-plus games. So I'm not too worried about him. I just feel like I've got my 5 outfielders. I've got that knocked out. When it comes back to me at 96, assuming there's not a guy like Tristan Casas or Spencer Torkelson available, then I'm just going to go pitcher, 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 pitcher. So when it comes back, I'm going to be looking at like Cole Reagans, Joe Ryan, Justin Steele, Bobby Miller. So that's how I'm going to break this down. I just couldn't pass Santander. That was just too good. I mean, as much as I wanted to grab Peralta, because then I'd have Gossman, Cease, and Peralta, it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't in the cards for me. So I'm going to make these 2 picks, and I'm going to take a second, go get a drink, come back. What's up? What's up? If you're just jumping in right now, feel free to you can say hi in the chat. I am periodically checking it. Otherwise, if you're catching on delay or on repeat, we are. I'm drafting first right now, so there is this big lull between my pick and the 22 picks that happen until it gets back to me. So we're luckily only about 7 picks away right now. So there goes, so Luzardo went, Grayson went, there goes Torque. And you guys can tell, like, I have ignored my infielders. My outfield looks amazing, though, right? I've got Acuna, Arozarena, Robert, Happ, and Santander. My pitching's off to a good start. I'm not worried about infielders. Sure, it'd be nice to have a little balance, but I'm not worried about it. I really like Matt McClain, but with that shoulder injury, well, he went 76. With that shoulder injury, it sounds like, I mean, obviously the Reds just traded for Espinal from the Blue Jays. So we don't know what kind of position Matt McClain's going to be in, but I do not like the sound of it. Okay, so all my guys are getting picked, right? That's okay. I'm going to go with, I said I was going to go pitching. That's still the plan. CJ Abrams is there, and I really like CJ, but we're just going to knock out this. We're going to knock out this pitching right here: Mitch Keller and Joe Ryan. So last night, for those of you who were dialed in, you know the Padres and the Dodgers played in Seoul, South Korea. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to watch the game. The game was on at 3 a.m. I'm a Padre fan, so I said, okay, I'm going to do this. It's a season opener. Let's go. So I did, and for the first 8 innings, everything was fine. I mean, it was a little weird. Padres have a new manager, so you're kind of trying to watch and see how that's going to play out, right? Didn't love the lineup, but they did squeeze a few runs in. But the way he started using the bullpen just didn't make a lot of sense. And I didn't follow Schilt when he was a manager in St. Louis, so I don't know what he did with the pen there, but he just lit the thing on fire last night. And he got to the 8th inning. I don't know if he just realized, like, oh, I don't really have anybody to pitch. Like, he used Brito, who was stretched out. He used Brito in the 8th when he really should have piggybacked Brito off of Darvish and had Brito throw between 1 and 3 innings and then bridge it over. So it just didn't make a lot of sense. We got this guy Suzuki from Japan, and he's supposed to be a high leverage guy. They brought him in the 6th inning to face the bottom of the order. I was like, what is going on? Do you not trust these pitchers? And then he was on this big kick where he had to bring in a lefty every time Ohtani and Freeman were up, which, don't get me wrong, I mean, it makes sense, but the problem is you're burning through too many pitchers. So they burned through the pen, and in the 8th, we had a high leverage situation, and they brought in Adrian Morejon, who is not a guy you want to throw into a high leverage situation. he's more like a cleanup kind of guy, mop up kind of guy. And yeah, and then the Dodgers just scored like 4 runs and it was game over. So, and I went to bed about 6 a.m. pissed. So, and I woke up at 10 and I was like, I'm definitely not doing that tomorrow. So my plan is I'm just going to sleep tonight. I'm not planning on waking up. But when I wake up in the morning, if the Padres win, then I'll watch the replay. And if the Padres don't win, then I'll watch the highlights. That's my plan. I'm trying to keep an eye on crypto a little bit tonight. After Bitcoin almost hit 60 last night and ETH almost hit $3,000, things got a little dicey, and I got a little froggy and changed some of my positions, and then woke up and they went up, and I was kicking myself. And I don't try to be a day trader. I just got a little antsy, so I'm actually keeping an eye on it right now, and it's not going the way I want it to. But obviously, there's nothing you can do. All right, let's figure this out. We're 3 picks away. Shane Bieber and Hunter Green are there. Oh, Hunter Brown. I really like Hunter Brown. He's there. There goes Hunter Green. Now, I know I haven't taken any infielders yet. Nico Horner is likely to get to me. Yep. And there goes Bieber. So, okay, so I'm going to go Hunter Brown and Nico Horner. So now I've got my 5 pitchers. I normally go 7-7-6. So 7 pitchers, 7 infielders, 6 outfielders. That's my plan. So I've got 5 pitchers right now, 5 outfielders. I'm going to target somebody. Actually, next time it comes around, I'm going to target somebody. So it's a bit of a reach, but I normally go Verdugo around that 150-ish, 155. But since I'm on the front end, it's not going to get back to me until 168. And I'm going to miss that whole group of outfielders. And I don't want to miss that whole group of outfielders. So we'll see. I mean, if somebody better drops to me, like McCormick or – yeah, that's about it, McCormick. I don't really like a lot of these guys. I don't like Durant. I don't like Ward. I'm okay with Sawinski. I'm okay with Varsho. I don't really love Ruiz. I love Nootbaar, but he's hurt again. And that's kind of his MO. Not a fan of Tyler O'Neill, not a fan of Chris Bryant. Lourdes Gurriel's okay. He had a nice season, don't get me wrong, but I remember the year he had before in Toronto and the year before that, just not highly productive. So for me, I'm going to end up taking Verdugo when it comes back, at least in one of my spots. And let's see, Josh Young is still on the board. If he's there when it comes back, I'll grab him. Otherwise, I am going to be looking at a pitcher. So ideally, I see Sonny Gray is there and Michael King is there. I don't expect either of them. I've got 5 guys queued right now, and the only one that will likely make it back is going to be Verdugo. So once I take Verdugo, I'm done on outfielders, and I'm looking to take 2 more pitchers, and then I'm just going to start stacking infielders like crazy. Oh, I was going to get that drink of water. Let me take a break. So I'm going to call timeout real quick. I'm going to go get a quick refill on water, and I'll be right back. All right, just in time. Ooh, look at that. Chas McCormick's still on the board for me. And just like that, Chas McCormick is not on the board for me. Okay, Michael King, sweet. All right, that worked out well. So Michael King is still on the board. I'm going to grab him, and I'm going to grab Verdugo, knock that out. So for me, all I've got left is one more pitcher, and I'm just going to start stacking infielders like crazy. Stack, 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 stack. Stacks on stacks on stacks. So Padres and Dodgers play tonight, and then we get to wait. We get to wait a week, and then all hell breaks loose. I do love opening day. I really, really love baseball opening day. I mean, I know there used to be talk about it being, a holiday, which obviously is mostly sarcasm, but it is. I mean, it is so special. If you're a baseball fan, there's really nothing like it. I just hate that MLB's kind of done what they've done with opening day. Like if you're a Padre or Dodger fan, your opening day was at 3 a.m. That's just, don't get me wrong. I think it's great that they want to expand the footprint, and they need to do that. Baseball's been terrible at that. But, I mean, the games can be exhibition games, right? Right? Ooh, did I miss this? No, okay, we're going here. Yeah, just keeping an eye on some so rare auctions that are ending, because Garrett Cole's about to end in about 3 minutes for my so rare MLB fan who's also catching up here. Yeah, this Garrett Cole super rare is at $550 right now, which is hilarious. I'm assuming the guys bidding on it just don't follow baseball that closely. So, yeah, anyway, Garrett Cole. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, it's so rare. And if you're not familiar with so rare, it's basically like we buy digital trading cards, NFTs, whatever you want to call them, and we play them in semi-weekly competitions against other teams and other players' cards. And they accumulate points just like regular fantasy baseball. But like I said, it's semi-weekly, so you're setting a lineup from Monday to Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is a different lineup. But the way that So Rare is set up now, it's like Rainmakers on DraftKings. So the majority of your utility is that season. The vast majority of your utility for the cards are going to be in that one season. You can still play the old cards and some other competitions, but if you want to win your money back, you need to win in season. So if you buy a guy and he's going to be wrecked for half the year, or even in Garrett Cole's case, potentially the entire year, then you're just lighting money on fire. So, and because you have so much utility tied into that season, every week that you are not able to use that player means that card is just less valuable. So right now, the most expensive starting pitcher in super rare was Corbin Burns, and that was $597. And Garrett Cole is $548, and he might not pitch all year. So there's that. I mean, I hope he does. I think Garrett Cole's an amazing pitcher, but it just is what it is. I'm not bidding on it. So, okay, so our plan was to go infield, right? Go hard infield here. I feel like everybody's real high on Christian Encarnacion Strand, like real high. They weren't so high when before Marte got popped with his PED issue. Okay, so I'm going to grab. Somebody took Harrison? Yep, somebody took Harrison. Okay, so I can take Pepioid or I can take Gore. I'm going to take Paredes right now. I really like Paredes. I think he's underrated. Obviously, things are a little wonky in Tampa Bay, the way Kevin Cash likes to platoon guys. But when you get a player under 26 years of age who can pop 30 home runs, you need to play that guy every day. So I want to say 9 out of 10 games, Paredes is going to be out there, especially since they lost Wander Franco. But, I mean, Josh Lowe puts up fantastic numbers, and he gets platooned. Okay, where are we at on this? I checked out for a second. $616. This is the highest, the most expensive starting pitcher. Crazy. Oh, it just got bid up at $653 now. This is crazy. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, Crypto Poppy, that is his name, Crypto Poppy. He just jumped in, and this is a guy who lives in California. So, and he seems to have a pretty decent idea about baseball. Sometimes, and so rare, we have a bunch of guys who play on the soccer side, so they're in other parts of the world. They don't follow baseball that closely. They just look at projections and buy guys, which would make sense because the guy who's in second is in Europe, but Crypto Poppy he's domestic and he's going after it. So good for you. $653 just laid it on fire. So it's not true. I mean, I think we all hope Garrett Cole. I mean, unless you're a Red Sox fan, we all hope Garrett Cole's okay. And I'm sure Crypto Poppy hopes he's okay for some of that utility. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, we just got the Dodgers lineup in. So there's that. How are we looking here? 3 people watching. Hey, guys, feel free to say hello. Feel free. That way I know what I'm working with. Okay, so I'm going to grab Pepioid when it comes back around, but it's all infield from here on out. The next super rare is Ian Happ, who I mean, if you've been watching this, I like Ian Happ. But the guy who's bidding on Ian Happ is nuts for Cubs, like totally nuts for Cubs. He just does not care how much he pays for the guys. So as much as I want Ian Happ, I'm just not going to get into a bidding war because I don't love Ian Happ like he loves Ian Happ. That's for sure. Okay, Suarez at 167. Okay, so we know I'm targeting. Ooh, my boy Gore is still there too. All right. Well, if McKenzie comes back, I'm taking McKenzie, but we need to target these infielders. Baum is there. I missed Tovar. Yep. Missed Tovar. That's okay. I feel like I should grab Julian. I don't really have Julian. He's an interesting piece. McManahan, I've been grabbing him a little more recently just because I want to take advantage of those home games. Okay, there goes Gore, which means I'm in for Pepioid. So I'm going to grab Pepioid now, by the way. I'm going to go Julian. Like I said, I don't really have a lot of exposure to Julian, which probably sounds crazy since I've drafted 133 of these on Underdog. And then I'm going to go with Pepioid. But he just normally gets taken earlier. So I don't have that much opportunity to grab him. So I've got I've got 3 more picks. They're all going to be infielders. Pena, Bell. I like to get some boppers because at this point, I'm pretty much just like throwing spaghetti on the wall. And I want guys who have the potential to be able to hit 2, 3, 4 home runs in a week. The dinks and the dunks are great. Like I'll look at Pena and I'll look at Crawford, but I want guys who are going to be able to really put some into the ball, put a little charge into it. Cal Raleigh. I don't normally draft a lot of catchers, but played over 150 games last year, hit 30 bombs. And that is not an easy ballpark to hit a home runs in. And if I get desperate, I'm going to add Michael Busch on the end. So right now my queue is Ryan McMahon, Jeremy Pena, J.P. Crawford, Josh Bell, Ryan Mountcastle, Cal Raleigh, and Michael Busch. So feel pretty confident I can get 3 guys out of that. What else do we have going on here? Oh, we got that lineup, right? Let's check out the Dodgers lineup for tonight. And it looks exactly like last night. So Betts, Ohtani, Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, Teo, Outman, Hayward, and Gavin Lux, with Yamamoto making his major league debut. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes down. It's kind of interesting that they're hitting Ohtani in front of Freeman. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong whether you use Freeman second and Ohtani third, but I do kind of find it interesting. Because I'd love to see Ohtani in that third spot. I guess, I mean, Ohtani can run very well. So, if he's got Betts in front of him, that's probably not a big deal. If he's got Freeman in front of him, Freeman moves well for a first baseman, but, he's just going to get in the way. So I guess I could see that. You just kind of want to see Ohtani with more opportunities to drive runs in. So, I mean, maybe this is Freeman's year to drive like 125, 130 in. That offense is going to be nuts. Will Smith is got to be a top 3 offensive catcher in the league. He doesn't get to play very much. I mean, he plays 125 games, but he doesn't get to play as much because Dave Roberts is always so concerned about keeping him fresh for the postseason. And last year they had JD Martinez, who was the DH. Now they have Ohtani, who's the DH. So unless Ohtani gets hurt, Will Smith's just never going to be able to get those extra at-bats. But I think he's one of the top 3 offensive bats in baseball. All right, we're going. And if you're watching and you want to disagree, that's okay too. I mean, obviously Adley's in the top 3. I don't know if Real Muto still is. Okay, so I missed McMahon. We got Pena here. I got J.P. Crawford. I'm going to go J.P. If he gets to me, I'm going to take J.P. This guy's got 5.66. He needs a pitcher. Oh, he took Polanco anyway. Okay. All right, I'm going to take JP, and then I'm going to grab. Ooh, I kind of want to grab Cal Raleigh. No, I'm going to grab Bell. I'm going to grab Bell, and we'll see what makes it back. Oh, look at this guy. Then he grabs Haniger. Going a little Seattle stack, huh? So we're waiting for that Padre lineup. I think the only thing in question, like I said earlier, I didn't like the lineup. But I think the only thing that really comes into question is who they're going to play at third base. They played Wade last night. I thought Wade played really well. I was a little disappointed they didn't start Pauly. so he can make his major league debut. I mean, why are you taking him if he's not going to play? But they started Wade, and Wade played well. He scored the first run. He had a defensive error which led to a run to tie the game. But I thought he played really, really solid. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of manager. We're still trying to feel out Shilton, see what his story is. But here's the thing. Here's my philosophy on rookies and guys who make their major league debut. Don't pinch hit them. Bud Black used to do that when he was in San Diego. It's the dumbest thing you can do. You get a kid up, just let him get his 4 at-bats. 4, maybe even 5 at-bats. Just let him get those at-bats. Give him every opportunity to get his first hit. You bring him in the 8th inning against some guy who's humming like 96, 98 with a nasty secondary pitch. It's his first major league at-bat. You're just not putting him in. He's probably never pinch hit in his life because these are top prospects. Like, come on. You just let him get out there, start. His major league at-bat should always be a start. Always. Give that kid every opportunity to have confidence. Because the first one, he probably goes up there and he's shaking and he's nervous and his heart's pounding and he's sweating. He's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I mean, in Korea, it's a little different, right? Because, the ballpark's like 18,000 people. But I mean, still, you're on the other side and there's Evan Phillips or there's Tyler Glass now or there's Yamamoto. I mean, these guys they throw hard and they've got nasty stuff. So you want to put your prospects in the best position to succeed. And I always thought Bud Black did that because he was a pitcher and he just didn't get it. But just start the kid. He comes up, he's a top prospect, he's going to be here a while. I mean, I get it if it's like some 4A player you're just using to fill in. He's up for a cup of coffee. You're like, here's your pinch hit. But if you can, you start that guy. Anyway, I've managed 0 major league games, which means I have a better winning percentage than Bud Black. I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, Mountcastle's still there. I'm not salty, I promise. Mountcastle's still there. Cal Riley is still there. And, of course, Michael Bush is there. So we'll see how this plays out here. Francisco Alvarez, I think that guy could be a stud. He's just, he's a guy you really need him to play 150 games. And he's not a big dude, so you don't necessarily want him catching that many games, but his bat is electric. Real Muto, obviously, I think he's 34 this year. He's starting to show some wear and tear. I mean, ideally, you could get somebody that can platoon with Real Muto a little bit and let him DH, keep him a little fresh, especially because the Phillies have had those deep playoff runs. You got to think about that stuff. But, I mean, he's so good. I feel like Real Muto is actually underrated. Like, his career has been underrated. He's not going to be like a Hall of Famer. But he's had a really nice career. All right. So we're going to wrap this up here in a second, right? I'm trying to get Ryan Mountcastle. Pitching looks good. Gossman, Cease, Ryan, Keller, Brown, King, Pepiot. Outfield looks great. Acuna, Arozarena, Robert, Happ, Santander, Verdugo. Infield? Not so much. Infield is Horner, Encarnacion Strand, Paredes, Julian, Crawford, Bell, and Mountcastle. Boom. Team's pretty good. All right. I mean, it's a lot easier to draft on Underdog when you draft first, for sure. So much easier. But, that's the way it goes. Sometimes you pick first. Sometimes you pick after 9th and you're screwed. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope everybody has a great evening. And if you're catching this on replay, that was pretty quick, 45 minutes. So got to talk a little baseball. And look at that. As soon as it finished up, people were like, boom, I'm out of here. Didn't even say bye. Rude. Anyway, guys, hope you have a great evening. And I'll make sure I run a few more streams before opening day. So hope everybody has a great evening and a great week. I'll catch you later. Feel free to give it a like. And if you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter @SoRareAces. See ya.